Hey guys, coming at you again on Tuesday, January 22nd, 2013, in my pajamas, my leopard print robe. But, anyways, so I wanted to talk today about relationships again. And I don't know, I've just been on a relationship kick as far as talking about them just because I think it's just really interesting to talk about them and hear different people's opinions and perspectives on them. So today I want to talk about putting a timeline on relationships as far as if you are a woman that wants to get married, how long are you willing to stay in a relationship with a man until it progresses into an engagement and marriage? Um, and I know that marriage is not important to every person or every woman. So really, I guess this question is geared more towards women that want to be married, or are married, and what their experiences were with it. So if you're a woman that marriage is not a necessity for you, it does not need to happen, I'm not directing this question to you because your answer is going to be a lot different than other people. So I want to ask that question, and I also want to give my opinion about it and how I feel. So my opinion on having a timeline for a relationship, I think if you are a woman that wants to be married, then I not to say that it's necessary, but you might want to tell yourself how much time you're willing to invest in a person if marriage is the end product that you want. And I say that because there are a lot of people that well, I shouldn't say waste, but they spend a lot of precious time trying to make something out of nothing with a person. And sometimes by the time that it's ended, you look back and you realize that you invested a lot of time in a person that at the end of the day they really you weren't equally yoked is the main thing. And I think if you're a younger woman, it's even a little bit different. I mean, if you're 21, you're very young, so your time frame might be a lot longer than somebody who is, say, my age. I'm 29, and um, the biological clock thing is real. I know people tell you don't stress about it and this and that, but we are women and we have to accept every facet of ourselves. And for us, that situation is real. And, for some of us, including myself, I don't want to be 50 years old or 40 something years old having my first child. That's just not for me. For other people, it might not be that big of a deal, but for me, that's not what I want. So I do have to be realistic about how I invest my time in somebody. And I think the way that you do that is really early on in dating. It's good to have those conversations. What do you want out of your life? Do you want to be married? Because you'd be surprised. I mean, some men aren't interested in being married. And if marriage is important to you, then you need to respect what you want, and don't think that you can try to change somebody's mind, or that the longer you stay with them, they'll change their mind, because that's just not how you do things. You want to be with somebody that wants to be with you, not out of pity or because they've just been with you for so long. Maybe I'm shallow, but that's not the reason I want somebody to commit their to sharing their life with me. So for me, and it's not to say that I have a strict timeline, like, it has to be, 3 months in, it's this, and then 6 months it progresses to that. It's not like that. It's kind of more of an organic thing. But I think what it really comes down to for us as women, especially us women that are in our later 20s and early 30s, that want to be in a relationship that leads to marriage and starting a family, is really sitting down and figuring out what we want. And when we meet men, getting to the nitty gritty sooner than later. You know, the first 3 months in dating, you should have an idea if this person, is interested in what you want, is interested in a similar type of future. If they aren't, you owe it to yourself to stay true to what you want and believe that it's out there. I think a lot of people too, they settle and they stay with somebody because, oh, he's really cute, or he could change his mind, or sometimes you even try to reshape what you want and, like, oh, maybe marriage isn't that important to me. No, stay true to what you want. Um, if that's what you want, then stay true to that. It sucks that it might not be with that person because that's not what they want, but there's someone out there. So I think that us women, we really have to stay true to what we want. We have to realize that you can't make somebody want what you want, and it doesn't matter how long you stay with them, and it doesn't matter how long you try to fix them or whatever. It can't be forced. It has to be organic. And so that's the main thing. So I don't think that it's a bad thing to have a timeline. It just has to be realistic. One time me and one of my girlfriends, we were talking. She's actually now married. But we were talking once and we're like, what's your deadline? And she said her deadline was 3 to 4 years. If she's been with a man for 3 to 4 years and he doesn't know if he wants to, be married to her, then that's an issue for her and she's gonna walk. And I kind of, I can agree with that, and I think that was fair. Um, because your time is precious, and you want to invest it in people that are gonna, uplift your life and that want similar things that you do out of life. I don't think there's anything wrong with that. So I think as long as it's realistic, then if you have a timeline for yourself, it is. And again, everybody's timeline is different. For some women, it might be 5 years. For some women, it might be 2 years. I think something unrealistic would be like 3 to 6 months. That's kind of unrealistic because you're still getting to know each other. And a lot of the factors, again, play on your age, because I think in your younger 20s, you still don't really know who you are, so it makes sense that you might need more time to be with somebody before you make a commitment like that. But I feel like once you hit a certain age, especially your later 20s and onward, you're a grown ass adult. You pay bills, you have big responsibilities, you may own a home, you pay taxes, all that jazz. Really after a year or so, if you really want to be with somebody, especially if you want to progress to something more with them, is how I feel. Everybody obviously, again, matures at different levels, but after a certain age, you're just not a kid anymore, and it really shouldn't take you that long to figure it out. Especially with men, they know what they want, and when they really want something, they go after it, and they don't stop until they get it, is the main thing. So if a guy really wants to be with you, it's really not even going to take him that long to figure it out and pursue more with you. So I think as long as it's realistic, you're good. But definitely have those conversations early on in dating to see what people are about and what they want. And, if it doesn't match up to what you want, have the courage to drop it. Let it go now before you develop any serious feelings, and, continue to meet people until you find somebody that does want what you want and will go after you, and you won't have to try to convince them or stick around in hopes that they'll change their mind. So what are you all's thoughts? Do you think it is okay to have a realistic deadline for how long you'll stay in a relationship before you get married? I know a lot of men may agree or disagree, but I want to hear you guys' thoughts. So let me know. Bye.